Hi everyone, and welcome to Baby Loss, Grief and Love. I'm your host Kelly Wells, and I run UK charity Making Miracles, who bring you today's podcast. The podcast is open to parents, professionals, families, colleagues, organisations, health professionals, anyone that wants to come on and be a part of raising awareness in our baby loss community. We are based in the UK, however, we welcome international guests, and anyone, wherever you are very welcome here. If you'd like to get in touch, please email me, kelly@makingmiracles.org.uk, and please also consider making a donation to help us be able to continue with this amazing tour, supporting all of those people in baby loss. Thank you so much. Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's podcast. Today we are joined internationally by Irene, who is over in Greece, aren't you, Irene?
Yes, I
Yeah.
am currently in Cyclades, in a Cycladic island
Oh wow. I'm not
called.
jealous at all.
I feel it's very well known to the wider audience. It's called Mykonos, and many people
Lovely.
from UK and of the whole world actually are coming to visit here every
Yeah, it's
season.
beautiful, amazing. So, what made you reach out to us?
Um, First of all, I would like to share that my experience happened in UK. It didn't
Hmm.
happen in Greece, which
Hmm.
I feel really, really blessed about it because the time that happened, I felt that I had the guidance and the support that I needed at this time. So I'm sorry, I forgot your question. Why I reached out?
Yeah, why did you reach out?
Because to be honest, when I came back to Greece, I had the opportunity after I had me and my partner, we had our loss. We had the opportunity to find some organizations or speak with some people. But when I came back to Greece, there was nothing around it to speak
Mm,
about, to refer to. There was no community apart from one or two people in the whole Greece. So I felt that I had the need to create something myself around this.
yeah,
So after 3 years of my loss, uh, I created my own. I don't want to say project, but my own community, my own support system. And through this community, I started to reach out to other organizations, mothers, people around the world, even Greece, midwives. And this is how I found you. And
right.
I found it a great opportunity for me to share the story for my first time, actually, for the first time, even before I do it in my community or anywhere else. And I'm very happy that you are based in UK, and because I feel a deep connection with UK, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is how I found you. And when it comes to why, it's because I feel that I always want to speak about my daughter, and
Yeah.
I always want to share things about this journey. For me, is an opportunity. And even if this cup was going to happen every month, I feel that I would find new things to speak about, and to keep, her remembrance and my
Yeah.
memories and my story alive. And her.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, that's lovely. What's your daughter's name?
My daughter's name was Artemis,
Oh, beautiful. Does that
and
have a meaning?
it has a meaning. Her father chose that name for her. It wasn't for sure that this was going to be her name.
Mm,
Um, so Artemis is a Greek goddess and is the goddess of hunt, of nature, of the moon. She was a virgin, and she was protecting all the creatures in nature, the animals, and she was driven by the moon and the light. And she had, and how do you say this in English? An arrow and a bow.
oh, like a bow and arrow. It's called a
Yes,
bow and
this was
arrow. It's
yes,
that
yes.
simple.
These were her weapons to,
Right.
against the predators, I guess. Maybe
Yeah.
Zeus sometimes. And this is very interesting because the island that I ended up has has a meaning around her name, which I didn't know when I arrived here. But I feel I want to share this with you after I say something about her story, you know.
Yeah, of course, of course. So, do you want to talk us through what happened? Because obviously you were in the UK at the time.
Yes, yes. So in 2018, I left Greece to come to study music therapy in UK. So I spent 2 years in Edinburgh, studying in Scotland, studying music therapy, the master course. Which was an amazing experience for me, and I met my partner there. Actually, I met him the first day I arrived in UK,
Oh,
which
wow.
was it was just crazy for me because it was an amazing, condition to be in. After I finished my master, I started to work in schools in Scotland, in Edinburgh, in the suburbs, and I started to practice my music therapy. So in 2023, I was already 3 years practicing my clinical work. And it was very interesting because that year I started to work with mothers and babies and groups of mothers and babies. So in the middle of my practice, um, I will do a step back. That summer, when I got pregnant, we were here in Greece. So we were visiting a Cycladic island with my partner, and I got pregnant there on an island that it looks like a butterfly.
Oh.
It's in the middle of the Aegean. And when we split, I didn't know I was pregnant. So when I came back to UK, I had to take it from there, and it was like I had a gift from Cyclades, a gift from Greece with me. So I started my work like every year, and when I had my 20-week scan, I went to not the hospital, but the service that we were going to do the scan. And this is where it actually started, because they told me that they see something in the lungs of our daughter, and there were three cysts that they had to refer me to a clinical team. So this was the first shock, because I remember the woman when I left the room. I will never forget how she told me that. She closed the door and she said, "I'm so," like the door was closing. She was like, "I'm sorry." Like, and I realized, without knowing what this is, that this might be something very serious. And I didn't even know what was happening. I had a bump, I could feel my baby. Um,
Yeah.
we have heard the heartbeat. We knew that everything was okay with her. So I went home crying and asking what's happening to my baby. I started to call doctors in Greece. No one could help me from distance. And so I was referred to the hospital that I finally became the place that I was gonna have all this experience. Uh, Fortunately, they gave us an appointment the same day. We went there and we found out that Artemis had three cysts in the left lung, and that we had to attend them. The whole medical team came around me. It started to appear people, a pediatrician, a surgeon, the anesthesiologist, my doctor, a midwife, and everyone was there to explain to me that we will attend this. So if she is born and everything is okay, we will check this. She will have the opportunity to have a surgery in the age of 2. So this was too much information for a day.
Mm.
Everything from there, we ended up Christmas. This happened November. Before Christmas, we had a scan, and they told me that the cyst is not growing, that everything is okay, so I could just go and have my Christmas holiday. So me and my partner, he's from Portugal. We decided to travel to the family in Portugal, and because of this trip, we skipped a scan in New Year. So the next scan was planned beginning of January, because they were
Mhm.
giving us scans every 2 weeks. And we said, okay, this trip is very important. We want the family to meet me, experience the pregnancy with them, be there. Don't be, oh, I'm afraid I'm gonna. So we skipped a scan. So this scan that we skipped, we ended up to go for a scan in 19th of January. No, I'm sorry, not 19, 18 of January. 18 of
Mhm.
January. So 17th of January, with my big belly and the baby moving and everything, I went for my midwife appointment. The midwife finds everything perfect. She found the heartbeats. She could touch Artemis. She was there. So the next day, 8:30 in the morning, we wake up because we had I had an appointment. I'm sorry, 8:30. I had the appointment with a team. 7:30. I will always remember that. I wake up in bed. Me, my partner, and Artemis was there as well. And I remember I was hugging him. I was spooning him, and she was kicking him from behind. She was kicking his back, and we had to start the day to go for the scan. And after, I had my therapy work, my clinical work. And I told him, let's stay 5 minutes more in bed because I'm so tired. He was like, we have to go for the scan, and stuff like that. And now that I'm thinking about it, I really wish I stayed these 5 minutes in bed, because this was the time that it was the last time that we're the three of us carefree together in our house, actually. But I didn't know that, so we go to the hospital, and the moment this thing, I don't know how you call it, it was put in my belly.
Mm.
The woman freezes and she says, okay, I need to bring the doctor inside. Please wait for me. So the doctor comes inside and she tells me that I have to deliver Artemis because her cyst has become so big that it has covered all of her chest, and delivering her with a C-section, the cesarean section, will be the only possibility and opportunity to give her a chance to live. Because if she continues to be in the pregnancy inside me, she will not be able to make it.
Mm.
So from the floor that I was for the scan, I now everything starts to become blurry for me
Yeah.
somehow, because I remember that I went out of the scan room, and the first thing that I did was to arrange my schedule. I don't know if other mothers have done that, to be so practical in motherhood that, okay, first things first, I need to call the therapists need to be cancelled. Some people were coming from Highlands to have a music therapy session, so I had to practically cancel the sessions. I had to call my manager. I had to call my live gigs that I was playing in a couple of months. And because I was giving birth apparently in 24 weeks. I was 24 weeks and 6 days that day,
Mm.
on the 18th of January. It was Wednesday morning. And after that, I was moved to an upper floor, a down floor, to the ward that I had to stay there, and they had to give me steroids
Mm-hmm.
and magnesium. Magnesium. I'm not sure. No, I'm not sure if it was magnesium. It was something to boost Artemis, to help her with her lungs to grow because she was too
Mm-hmm.
small.
It's a steroid, isn't it?
Steroids, yes,
Injection and
yes, yes, but it was something else as well that it would make me nauseous.
oh, okay.
I think it was magnesium. So everything started to go very fast.
Mm.
Call my brother, I have to call my family and tell everyone that I'm going to give birth. My mother, the last moment, I call my brother and tell her I'm giving birth. So things are not good, So my mother had to travel from Greece, I don't know, with an angel, because she really found an angel to be able to be there the next day for me.
Mm.
Everything started to happen so fast and so. And I remember that we were waiting. I was scheduled to give birth on Friday. It was Wednesday. I was scheduled to give birth on Friday, and I spent not even 24 hours in this room. And I remember midwives were were passing one after the other. I remember they put me these belts that I had to wear them all the time and hear the heartbeat of Artemis and hear my heartbeat. So I was on the machine. And I remember that before the night comes, and we were like before to start the night shift, which I met my midwife that she stayed with me. I remember that I took a picture of myself with the belts. And the picture was like, me, like a girl, actually. Because I feel that after that picture, I was not the same person anymore. I didn't know what was happening. I didn't know they were telling me you will have a cesarean, but I didn't know what this means.
Mm.
They were telling me you're on steroids. The team was coming inside. This will happen and this will happen. Everything was right. But I was just, I didn't realize how sick Artemis was. I didn't realize what was happening. I didn't realize where I was. Thank God
Mm.
I had my partner next to me and he was there. And so this picture, when I come back to it, it's like I see myself for the last time as this girl.
Yeah.
This purity, this a bit naive, a bit maybe a bit happy that, oh, I'm complaining in my pregnancy, and my belly's there, and everything is like, maybe there is a hope as well, in this picture,
Yeah.
because I don't understand nothing. So all night the midwife was coming there, and I remember that I was so protected in this room that they even had a curtain between the door and me, because I didn't realize that I was, the case that you need to be careful. You don't just go there and open the door. You don't just speak as I was the case, but I didn't know it was this case. And I remember that my midwife that night, my angel, this woman, she was wearing Crocs that the nurses wear, but they had glitter. So every time she was entering the dark room, the Crocs were shining, and I realized it was her from the Crocs. And this made me so happy that she was wearing this. It was like some stardust coming into the room to take care of me. And so at some point at 7 a.m., she came to tell me that things are not good and that I need to deliver. So I had to deliver without my mother being there. And it's not that I just have to deliver. You have to deliver now. So we are going for you to deliver. They brought me the paper. I signed for the cesarean, and they moved me to the bed.
Trolley, yeah.
I start. No, it wasn't the trolley. It was a bed. I had to go straight to the room, and
Right.
my partner was there next to me. I remember I was wearing a Holy Mary in my chest, and I wanted to wear that, but they didn't let me, so I gave it to him, and everything happened like a movie. I remember the movie like so fast. They took me to the delivery room. I remember the lights, the people there. I remember their faces, and my midwife, like my amazing midwife, she had me like to relax. So I have the epidural. So, oh, this is what is the epidural. This is gonna happen to you. I was lying down in bed. My partner was there holding me, and I had my speaker. Because it was UK, in 2023. So I had my speaker and I was like, play this song and play this song and play this song. So I was picking songs, and I remember I was crying and listening to Tom Waits. And after, uh, I feel that Artemis was delivered when we were playing "Dance Me to the End of Love" by Leonard Cohen, and it was like so beautiful. But I didn't know what was happening because they told me she was here, but I didn't see her. So they took her straight away. And I realized after that she was not alive when they took her. So I realized after that I have the experience of a stillbirth, at even unconsciously, And so everything was wrapped up, and I was moved to a room that it was like, it was an empty box, really. I was there after the surgery, sitting with my partner and waiting. I feel that we were waiting for her to come back to life, really, because they were trying to bring her to life for 35 minutes,
Mm.
and she came back to life.
Wow.
And these moments there, in the movies, they take the baby to make the scan, the things. So I was thinking, oh, they're counting her. Oh, I didn't know what was happening. But now I know, after I was reading the reports, I think that this was the time that they were trying to bring her back to life. So we were waiting, but we didn't know what we were waiting. And imagine, she was back to life. And from that box room, they take me, run. They put her to NICU, and they take me with the bed to go to see her. And I remember that now that I'm telling you. To be honest, I remember that everything happened with this row now that I'm telling you, because I don't come back to this often. This is like
Yeah.
why this podcast exists, I guess,
Yeah.
because nobody asks these things. Nobody asks what happened. Was she alive? Were you okay? What's her name? What happened to you? Were you in pain?
Mm.
What happened in this hospital? What happened in this hospital? You know. I'm sorry. I'm just need to take a napkin. I remember that moment because this was our first picture. I was run with the bed, and I was thinking, if they are running with the bed to Niku for me to see her, something is going on. But I was already in morphine. I feel that I was very drugged in order to feel everything in my body. So I feel that my partner, and this is for the partners as well, have a very different experience from the mothers,
Yeah. Very much so.
because my partner was like in shock, but he couldn't soothe himself in other ways. But I was in morphine, and even I know that morphine helps for the cesarean pain, but I feel that it numbs you in a way that nothing else can. So
Absolutely.
so I went there, and I remember Kelly. She was in the box already. I was lied down in bed exactly after the cesarean. I mean, like, half an hour after. And I remember, because the bed couldn't reach her, I had to stretch, and I stretched. I was like crawling back in the bed to reach her. And I managed to reach her. And it felt like a war scene. That
Mm.
my baby's there. I need to move to do something. So we so after we were moved in these protection rooms that they are for mothers and families like us, that need to be in a room that things might not work well. So I shouldn't listen to other babies crying, or I should be very protected, very well taken care of, to have my own bathroom, to have my own room, very nice room, coffee, everything. It was like everything was so nice and so protected that yeah, there must have been a reason that they were like this. And we stayed there for until Artemis passed away. So we stayed there for 6 days. Artemis was born in 19 of January 2023, 7:37 in the morning, and she passed away on the 24th of January. Um, in the evening. It's interesting that I don't remember exactly the time that it was written. Uh, so these 6 days that we spent in the hospital, I can go into very detail about them, But I would just say that we started to create a routine around it. Uh, I started to pump my milk in order to give it to her just in case she survives, which is another podcast itself. What do you do with the milk that you have when your baby is premature, or when you lose your baby, because your body is still a postpartum body. And I had to recover from the cesarean, take out the stitches, start to walk again. I remember that I was going um, with the bed for one day. The second day, I went to the chair, and the last days, I was able to walk to Niku. So I felt that I had all these different perspectives. Like the bed, I was seeing the lights. The chair, I was going backwards, and I was looking at the frames, the colors of the walls. And after, when I was walking, I was questioning, is this the place that I'm going every day? I didn't know where I was. I didn't realize that I was in the same place that I was the first day that I entered for the scan. I didn't realize
Mm.
it was the same hospital. In my head, I was in a matrix world. So after 6 days, and after a lot of time with ups and downs, machines beeping, oh, we're gonna lose her now. Oh, she survived. Oh, we're gonna do this. Oh, she survived. um, they announced to us in a very specific protected room that she will not make it, um, that we will have to say goodbye to her because the cyst was like so big that her organs, her heart stopped functioning because it was pushing her heart. Her heart moved back up here, so it couldn't work. So because the heart couldn't work, there was no blood in her body, so her kidneys stopped working. So everything started to go down. I'm smiling because I had such a nice time with her. You know, I remember her like how she was. I was going there every day. She had her eyes open all the time. She didn't want to close her eyes. And oh, interestingly, I was this today. So she was covered with this blanket. And I remember I was like under this blanket and telling her stories and singing to her. And I was telling her that I will tell her story to everyone, and especially to her brothers and sisters, when they are here. And I know she was listening because sometimes she was reacting. I was touching her gently, we were changing her nappies. Um, we were singing to her. We have songs that we know it's her songs, and every
Yeah.
time we sing these songs for her. And the team was amazing in Niku. They prepared us for everything. And
Mm.
I'm so blessed that all this experience happened in UK in 2023 at least, because they were creating everything, they were creating the best environment for us. We had pictures with her without even knowing you can do these things. We we had our privacy to say goodbye to her. Artemis was brought into our arms from the box. They were like, now we're gonna take her out. She's gonna be in your arms. So when she was out, like, my mother entered the room and she was speaking to the family, what's happening? What's happening? So she entered the room, she saw us there, and we were giggling with her. We're like, oh, my little baby, you're here. And my mother went out and she was like, they are inside there and they are smiling and they're so happy taking pictures with her. Like, this is crazy things to think about, because at least we had the opportunity to meet her. This is such a big deal to meet the person that you had all this time inside you, and you were speaking, you were singing, and I was feeling her energy. It was so interesting that every time I was close to her, and my partner told me that as well. Oh, sorry. We were calm. We were not stressed. We were stressed when we were away from her. When we were with her, everything was so different. This is why, like, life is so important. This is why we are grieving, because we know how important is life in our bones, you know?
Mm.
And if we have like other babies, or if we don't, or even when we are pregnant, we feel this life as women,
Mm.
and we know what this means. We have this energy coming inside of us. This gives us the strength to overcome everything. And this is why, like, this is important.
Mm.
I felt it even when she was going out of her body, I was feeling her energy. And this is what happened actually. They took out the machines that they were keeping her alive, and she passed away in my arms. I was hugging her. She was naked. I was naked. We were like that, And I will never forget that. I, I didn't know what to do. Like, she was there. I was holding her, and when uh, when the doctor was trying to hear her heart, he was like, "Oh, not yet, not yet." It was this process that you need to really hold your baby, because I was her mother. I was the only person that could be there for her, and they gave me this opportunity to do that, to have something to remember. That I was there for her, even like this. And I remember that when I take her away, and she was not with us anymore, all these weeks, she had the machines in her face, and her face was like squeezed and everything. But when I did this and I looked at her, she was like an angel. She was an angel, actually. But she looked like one as well. She didn't look sick. She didn't look poorly. She was so beautiful. And she had a bit of skin in her lips, and I just took it out like that. And her lips, like, oops. And oh my God, she was so beautiful. And I cherish these moments so much, like
Mm.
holding her in my arms. And it was like a transition, that from my body she finally came to my arms, even if through the box and all these days and all these worries.
Yeah.
And after all this process, like, there is a protocol that you follow in the hospital, and you give her away, and you take a box with you in the house. And after they help you to do the funeral. We had a funeral for Artemis. She was as well baptized inside the hospital with a Greek Orthodox priest.
Oh,
Come
amazing.
the first day with her, because I didn't know if she was gonna survive, so I really wanted to baptize her. And our life since that changed to the core.
Mm.
But I know that she's here with us and she's guiding us, because we left Scotland a couple of months after to come to Greece, with the thinking that we're going to spend some time in Greece, and after we are going to go back to Scotland. But the situation came in a way that our landlord sold the house, so we didn't have a house to come back to. And we ended up in this, like, cosmopolitan island, which is like everyone from all over the world comes here. Cruises, is like a very club island. But the protector of the island is called Saint Artemios in Greek, which is something that I didn't know. And across this island is the island of Delos, which goddess Artemis and Apollo, her brother, were born there in Greek mythology.
Yeah.
So I feel that I didn't ended up here by chance. since I arrived to this island, so many gifts have been given to us. I feel her presence a lot, and I feel that my life is going in a more in a different direction. Is guided by a light that I have inside me, you know. And even if I am a bereaved mother and I had this experience, I feel that I have a light inside me that is so alive that I'm almost lifted all the time. Even if I am grieving very differently every day since then, I don't feel alone. And I don't feel that this is just, I feel that it was a challenging experience in our lives, but not a bad experience.
Mm,
No, I would do everything to change this experience. Because I would be fine if I didn't lose my daughter and be so strong and all these things and all these labels, you know.
mm,
But I wouldn't have this light coming out of me in any other way in my life, you know.
mm,
And I feel that people like you and people that they manage to help others through these experiences are just giving this life, this light. Each one of us has this inside of her.
mm,
Just I feel that the cracks are bigger or harder to crack, you know. But with women like you and with communities like these, I feel that we are just passing this light through, you know. So some mothers are like, this was the light, you know. uh,
mm,
when Not when the pain goes away, you know, because the pain doesn't go away. I'm not gonna This is not gonna go away. It's just
mm,
gonna change the form or something, I don't know. um but yeah, I feel that this is a part of my story. This is a part of the story, maybe the main part that brought me here today to speak you from this bright house. And thank you so much for that, for creating this space and for being here for me and for us.
absolutely no problem. And, the way that you talk about her, the way you carry her, the way you are, so full of love and light. And, you know, you are a bereaved mother, but you are living, you aren't existing, you're still living. And it's kind of like, the vibe I get off you, and we are thousands of miles apart, but the aura that you bring is that you're living life with her, you're living life for her, and you're
Yeah.
carrying that love of your little girl with you forever. And that's a really positive, beautiful way to grieve. I know there's no right or wrong way to grieve, right? But it's just really inspirational, Irene. I think, how you're coping with such a tragic event in your life, so traumatizing in the way that you carry yourself and talk about her. And, it's just so beautiful to see. And, I'm sure she'll be so proud of you. So,
Thank you so much. Thank you.
no, it's really lovely. Um, if you've been affected by anything we've discussed today, please do reach out. My email is kelly@makingmiracles.org.uk. If you are over in Greece and you want to say hello to Irene, get in contact with me and I'll put you in touch. Carry on doing the amazing work you're doing,
Yeah, yeah. I
Irene.
don't know if this is your closing and I'm interrupting you.
No, it's fine. You go.
Oh, okay. Just if anyone wants to reach out, I
Yeah.
have created this community. I don't know if you want to put this or not. It's called Still Your Mother. And
Hmm.
you don't have to look for my personal account. You can just look me there. I think it's
Hmm.
easier to remember as well. And yeah, I would be very happy to everything actually. To
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, that's what I wanted to kind of say. If someone wants to directly get in contact with you, they can either look on that or obviously they can email through me and I'll put you in touch. But
Yes.
definitely, thank you for what you're doing in your community where you are in the world, there isn't, organisations like us, and, you are making a difference to people out in Greece who can reach out to you and do have that kind of support network too.
Yeah. Yes. Yes.
And we're all doing this for the community, right? For each other.
Yes, yes, yes. I feel that this is the only way for me. This is not only me. This is not me doing this. This is
Mm.
me reaching my hand to actually grab a hand, to hold a hand, to touch a hand.
Mm.
This is a need that I have as well. It's not for
I
that I
understand.
have figured everything out and I have this community.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
as I told you before, just to have other women behind me. So when I'm in that and going through that, to have someone
Mm.
to pass through these emotions, feelings, this life, to live life together.
Absolutely. And it's so important when you are feeling isolated and alone that you have that, and that's how you're describing that there is why I started the charity 13 years ago. It was to provide I said when I started, I was telling my mum, and I said, if I just help one person, if I just am there for one person not to feel alone, I will be happy, and here we are,
Yeah.
13 years later, talking to you all over in Greece, talking
Yes.
to a community of thousands of people across the world, letting them know that they're not alone.
Yes, yes, yes. And I was so happy when I saw this podcast existing because uh, I see all these things. Now I'm trying to volunteer as well. I will through UK. UK is like it's just like a lighthouse there with this community. And when I saw this podcast, I felt like that there is someone there for me. It was so random, but the moment you do a move towards another mother, or towards yourself, because I started with myself to do that, and I started to reach out. I saw like how many people are there for me, whereas for 3 years before I created my own community, to be courageous enough to do it and expose myself. And because I was thinking, how I'm gonna tell this story, how I'm gonna be on a podcast. It's not that I am so confident about this, but the earth is so much bigger, and spaces like these
Mm,
are giving me the opportunity. For me, it's an opportunity, to see you today
absolutely.
and listen to your story.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
And
much. I'm
can you
looking
make
forward.
sure you stay in contact with us and
Yes,
let us
yes,
know how you're doing? And
yes, yes.
as I said, if anyone wants to come on the podcast, please do email me. If anyone has any feedback or comments about today's podcast, please do get in touch. As always, take care. Thank you, Irene.
Thank you. Bye.